comes to the findings, so this is quite important, this bit of the video. I've only got to 9 minutes, so I'm working on the survey that I downloaded from SurveyMonkey, and SurveyMonkey and Microsoft Word don't get along. As per usual, Microsoft have created a world in which anyone that doesn't create anything on Microsoft products has to always do something. So there's a little bit of difficulty always attached. One of the things that you will find is that in all these columns here, there's actually a secret column in the background. So if you look here, you've got that 2 and that 2. You've got that little line going across there. There's actually 2 columns there. Believe it or not, that's actually happening down here as well. So all of this information is being repeated twice, but you can't see it. You've got to get rid of it. So the way that you do that, and I'm only going to do this for the top 2, because it takes time and Microsoft gets angry with me. The way that you do that is you select one column at a time and you press merge and center. Microsoft then asks you if the information was helpful. I'm telling Microsoft it's not, because it's really got a lot of swear words out of me today. And so you have to do this for each column. Now it looks messier. And because it looks messier, I suggest that you cut and paste and move your columns over here. So I'm going to be using that information. And I'm going to be using that information. Again, it's looking slightly messier, but this will help. You also, on the side then, you can sort from sort and filter. I always suggest to sort. You want to sort on the column with the numbers in. That's the G column. And you want to sort by G, smallest to largest. There's a reason for that. So I've done this to the top one up here. I'm getting all Julia Childs and doing my pre-cooking before my talking. Anyway, so here we have, I've split all those columns back up. And if you look up to this bar here, this is the input. This is the bar that you input information in. You will see that it's the same information. Nothing changes. Okay. And then over here, I've got the same information, but I've sorted it and I've taken those percentages out. Now, what I'm going to do is select both. Now, in a table, I typically do like to have largest to smallest. Sort by G, Billy Boy, largest to smallest. So I'm able to balance life commitments up the top. We'll build the chart now from this, but you will see that we have to switch it back over. So here we go. We select both of these columns. We go over to insert. We go to column or bar. Now this is your choice. I do suggest though you think about readability. So do people read words when they're upside down or laying on their sides, or do people read words when they're up the right way? Most people read words up the right way, and what I've noticed in research reports that use lots of column graphs with large list of sort of complete sentences down the bottom, they tend to turn the whole page over. This is why. We'll start with the column graph first. Column on those two sides. You can see all these words now are sort of to the side. You can't really read them all. It's a little bit messy. I could try and tidy it up in all these other ways, but perhaps that combination there works a little bit. But that makes it easier to read than when it's those leaning ones on the side. So no, I don't like that. So we'll delete that. We'll just press delete. Stuff's still there. Insert var 2D. And what we want to now do is make sure that that series 1, which is all that information, is turned to the words numbers of students. So what you do here is you select data. You don't press whatever button I press, so cancel that. I think I pressed add. Edit, and we're going to change this to number of students. Okay. What happens is that now it has a title on it. We're going to change that title into Strengths of Block Courses. Cool. Now, if I wanted to add a before and after, then I would add another series. So I would have numbers of students before, numbers of students after, and you'll see these two bars sitting side by side. I'm going to change the colour because I don't like the colour. I'm going to change where the chart is. So I'm going to say to right click, move chart to new sheet. So now I can read everything, see numbers of students. I still don't like that numbers of students on the side, so I'm going to stick it underneath. So I've got that up here. Voila, there is a chart. Now, if I was to be doing this, there's my original stuff, just so you know. It's if you go down the bottom, you've got questions, which is the SurveyMonkey title, and then chart 2, because it's the second attempt of me making a chart. The only other thing I would say to you is that if you were working with percentages, you need to have the top percent there. You need to have 100. If I wanted to be really, really clear to my audience, I think it's now 27 students who are participating, I would change that data to 27. So format axis, number, is it number, format code, axis option, maximum fixed, 27. And I'd make sure that all my charts have that fixed maximum of 27. The reason, and now it's giving me a -3, this silly thing. Format axes, fixed, 0. It's never going to be -3 people in the BYD. Close, back to normal. Format axis. Oh. Format axes 27. Oh yes, it is there. The reason why I've done that is when it's at that top number 20, it makes the person who's looking at the chart think, gosh, most of the students answered that. But when it's done like this, I can actually see, well, actually some students didn't answer that. I can get a bit of a completeness of the picture. Okay, now you'll see though that right at the top, I don't think block courses work. It's not a strengths-based approach to reporting when you start with the Lisa value first. I'm believing that people are reading column by column going down. This is the reason why you don't sort on a table for a chart with the greatest number up the top. So we're going to change that background and see what happens. Sort A to Z, custom sort, column G, smallest to largest. Yep, and we go back to chart, and now it's more strengths-based as a chart. It's called strengths-based evaluation reporting. Right, back to PowerPoint. Now I could, back to PowerPoint, new slide. Now I could make a chart within there, but I like to make them in the Excel because then I can use them both in the PowerPoint and in my report that I hand in at the end. So, strengths of block courses. Good idea always to have a title on your chart, a title that's reflective of the question that you actually asked. So if I change the title to Good Things in Block Courses, it's not quite reflective, believe it or not. So things I like about strengths of block courses, that's what we ask. What are the strengths of block courses for you? So repeat that in there. Well, if you're doing Scared Straight, we are expecting some feedback next week in Auckland next week, and Wellington the week after, in your presentations on what your observations have shown. In all the other initiatives, we're expecting some reflection on the interview process and what you expect to find, when you get the transcripts. Okay, final thing you need to have on the slide are what are the implications for your own practice so far that have been shown. And we know, like, now that I've been able to do the analysis today, I know from my analysis that actually we not have to keep the block courses, but we need to be looking at how we structure your learning on a week-by-week basis. And then there's a whole pile of other stuff we've learned as well, which I'll write up in the final report. But I'm certain that Montaz is going to give me heaps of questions to my little oral presentation that I'll be giving her. So, ngā mihi nui, looking forward to the presentations. Be prepared for some questions, and kia kaha.